are, as you can see, on the road. We had a good time at Blue Rocks Family Campground in Leonardsville, Pennsylvania. The price was around $50, advertised $55 per night with taxes and everything. It came out to like $6 per night. Wasn't bad, I don't think. It looks like during the summertime they're a really popular spot. They have a lot of activities, playgrounds. They have a on-site like cafe or grill, they call it. And obviously the hiking trails from the campground too. So if you're around during the summer, I'd say definitely a place to check out. They celebrated 75 years in business this year, so that's pretty incredible. It's a big testament to how good they must be. So
yeah, and even now for us, even though there wasn't a lot of activities, it was still awesome.
Yeah.
We were able to enjoy the hiking, so that was really nice, and it was really cool.
Yeah, and like I said before, the fishing pond across the way from our site, no license required, catch and release. So that was cool. We didn't get to enjoy it, but if you're a fisher, what you want to do, go for it. It sounds awesome. We have our poles. I don't know why we didn't enjoy it, but the hike was cool too. So yes, we have about 300 miles, 320 miles to Natural Bridge, Virginia. It's our next stop for 2 nights. Yeah, that's it. It's a really windy day today. So for those of you that are just starting out or for towing tips in the wind, just take it a little bit slower if you need to. If you don't have a weight distribution hitch or a sway control, a sway bar on your setup, I would say definitely get one. If you don't want to get a weight distribution hitch, that's okay. That's up to you, depending on your vehicle manufacturer and what weight you're towing. But a sway bar, I would say, is almost always needed for towing a rig, only because they're 11 to 13 foot walls and the wind catches them every time. So I think just for that extra security, having at least a sway bar is a good idea. The weight distribution is totally up to you. And I just found out that some vehicles, Audis in particular, if you tow with an Audi SUV, even no matter what the size of the rig, they don't suggest weight distribution hitches. Apparently it's something to do with their frame. It's strong enough, the frame is strong enough, but it's I forget what they said. It's a solid frame, or I forget what it is, but they don't suggest weight distribution hitches if you're towing with their vehicles. So that's new to me. Anyway, just blabbling. See you guys when we get to Natural Bridge.
Later.
See you there.
Morning, guys.
Buenos dias.
So we are getting back on the road today. We're leaving Natural Bridge, Virginia, headed towards Sweetwater, Tennessee. We're going to another KOA. So we're actually doing all KOAs except for the first one in Pennsylvania. The rest of them are all going to be KOAs on the way down to Texas. I did that one because it's just easy with KOA. We're already rewards members, so we already have an account there. All of my information's already saved in it, and they're always usually conveniently off of interstates. So it happened to be that there was always one within 300 to 350 miles for each leg of our journey. So I figured, why not? And we get to use our points, get to gain some points. So yeah. And like I said, with KOAs, you kind of always know what you're going to get. You're always going to get a clean campground for the most part. You're going to get this was a full hookup. So it was water electric, but it was a nice big site. Dump station on the way out. The next ones we're going to be are going to be pull throughs with all full hookups. So again, you just kind of know what you're going to get from them, and like I said, they're right off the interstate, so it's nice and easy. But last year we came here and we didn't get a picture, and Jasmine was very upset that we didn't get a picture of the site for you guys. So I'm going to bring you guys. I'm going to do better than a picture. I'm going to bring you guys outside and show you the campsite. So let's go. All right, we're outside. Let me go to the front of the site real quick, show you guys what it looks like over here. All right, so this is the front of the site. So nice, good enough space. Fire pit, picnic table behind it. As you can tell, it's not the most level side to side, but we were up there. We got it level, so all good. Plenty long for the rig. The truck is parked sideways. I probably don't have to park sideways, but I did. Actually, for the first night, I didn't. I was actually right underneath the ball, so we were good there. A little bit high on the tongue, you can see. But other than that, pretty good. Gravel site. Like I said, plenty long. Sorry about the trash there. And the back of the site, so we could park in the back of the site too if you want to, or if you have 2 cars, plenty of space there. And I'll show you guys the business side. Electric, water, and our side is 3 feet deep, so plenty of space there too. So yeah, so that's it. So this is Natural Bridge KOA in Lexington, Virginia. Right off of 81. 81 is literally, you guys can't see it from here, but right over that ridge there is 81. You can actually hear it when you're outside, but you can't hear it when you're inside, which is nice. So it's still really quiet here at nighttime, actually. We've only been here during the fall, so when everything's closed, but they have pool, playgrounds, and other activities too. Arcade, I think a game room or arcade room. That stuff's still open, but I'm sure during the summer they have plenty of activities for the kids, like most KOAs do. So check it out if you're near it. Natural Bridge State Park is only what you guys went to, because check out our last video up here. When we went to Natural Bridge State Park, that was only a 10-minute drive. And then also in that same video is the Virginia Safari Park, which is literally over there. And that was a really cool experience. Drive through safari, feed the animals as you go. Really cool experience. Our first time doing something like that, so right next door. And then if you're interested in breweries or if interested in a winery, just back here is a winery and a brewery. I think it's a winery and a brewery. And there's another brewery in I don't know what town it is, I'm sorry, but down about 15 minutes away. Another brewery. That's also where we did Walmart yesterday, and there's a Food Lion there and another grocery store that I can't think of the name of. Walmart, Food Lion, I forget the other one, but there's a few grocery stores in the within 10 to 15 minutes from here, so good spot. All right, see you guys on the road.
Guys, so we're pulling over because it says one of the PSIs is 19. So here we go. Gonna check it out.
93. Alright, so I think another false alarm, but if you guys don't have a infrared thermometer, it's something to get as well, just so you can check the hubs, check your wheels. All the temperatures are basically the same. A couple of degrees fluctuation isn't a big deal. It's when it's a big difference that you have to, that means you have a problem. So I think it's just a faulty of another sensor issue. But that is the tire. So I'll show you guys when we get to the site, the campground, hopefully incident free. That tire is treading differently. It's balding on the inside, which indicates a bent axle. It could indicate a bent camber. So it was at the dealership before when we were on our vacation. They were going to order a new axle. They couldn't figure out really why. They thought maybe we were towing like either nose down or nose high. I forget which one they said. I think nose down. But we are level. Our camper is level going down the road. Our truck sags a little bit, but that's mostly because we have weight in the. I calibrated the weight distribution hitch before putting weight into the camper and the truck, but the camper itself is still riding evenly. The truck sags a little bit, so that has nothing to do with why the. So to me, it's either a bent axle or it's a bad camber. I'd be surprised if it's a bad bent axle, because we haven't really done much to bend the axles, but it is a wide stance axle. It does happen when you're backing into some tighter spots. It can happen. But anyway, the PSI is back to 90, 92 at this point. They usually ride around 91, between 90 and 93 on warmer days. We start off the day at 81 PSI. 80 is the cold. So I did it. That's the other thing. So I have if you guys are watching this and you guys answer, I've asked this question on forums before. People say I'm overthinking it. Let me know what you guys think. If I fill up my tires in cold weather to the proper PSI, and as we have gone south, obviously the temperatures aren't dropping. The nighttime temperatures aren't dropping as low as they were. So we start off our day with a 81 to 82 PSI instead of 80. Should I be letting air out in the morning, or should I just be letting it ride? Let me know what you guys think, what you guys do. Maybe I am overthinking it. Maybe it is just whatever. I should just keep going. I did it at 80, and I should just keep going. Don't worry about it. Let me know what you guys think. Anyway, so we're back to normal.
Praise God.
Praise God. God willing, we'll get to our destination without any incident. I think it was just a bad sensor, but because it's that tire that I'm worried about, we had to get off the road just in case we had to change the tire. But I think now that it's happened, I think I will when we get to our campground tomorrow or tonight. Or tomorrow, I'll put on the spare tire to get us the rest of the way down to Texas, and then work with the dealership in Texas to see if they can order the same parts that the other dealership was going to order. And that's what I was going to say. So the dealership was going to order a new axle. They're going to order new tires. They're going to order a bunch of other stuff, all under warranty, and they weren't going to come in time before we got back on the road to head to Texas. So I said, forget it. We'll get to Texas and we'll do it down there. So I think I'll just throw on the spare tire into that spot for our next drive day, and then when we get to Texas, we'll obviously take care of the things that need to be taken care of. But again, thank God it's just a false alarm for now, and hopefully we get to the campground worry-free. Let's get back in the road. Let's get back on the road. Thank you all so much for watching. We really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up below. Also, if you haven't already, we would love for you to subscribe to our channel and follow us on all of our adventures. Come back next week as we show you what's going on with our tire before getting back on the road to head towards Texas. Until next time, God bless and stay safe.